Char siu bao, roast pork buns. They are a staple dim sum item and probably the most famous of all the Chinese buns and baos. On this episode, I'm going on a char siu bao run. I'll be visiting some top dim sum restaurants to get them, both the steamed and the baked varieties. Join me on today's food adventure. Okay, I got some char siu bao from Taste of Hong Kong out here in Chantilly. I'm in the Dulles Airport area, so you're going to hear some airplanes flying overhead at very low altitude because I think I'm in the direct landing path of a lot of these airlines. Of these airplanes. So if you hear a loud noise in the background, that's what it is. It's an airplane flying over my head. So here they are. These are the steamed char siu baos. And let me get underway. Oh, I'm taking the little paper off. And let's see how it is. Wow. Oh, that's good. Well, it's got the requisite fluffiness and firmness too. Oh, there's an airplane just flew overhead. Yeah, so it's fluffy, but it has a balance of being a little bit firm, so it's not just overly soft. The pork filling, it's minced and diced into little tiny squares. It gets kind of integrated very well into the sauce. Nowadays, when you order them at restaurants, it's not meant to be a meal unto itself. It's meant to be, a team player in an assemblage of dim sum items. So they don't make them particularly big anymore. Ooh. They have a nice balance right there. Nice balance of like hoisin sauce, maybe, the oyster sauce, sugar. I don't know what else is in there, trace of onion flavor. Okay, at Taste of Hong Kong, they also sell baked char siu bao, and I got an order of those as well. Yeah, you do get more char siu and more of that char siu sauce. So the whole volume of stuff on the inside is more. It has a nice baked exterior. It's nice and soft. I think there's a gentle kind of egg wash on the outside. Wow. This particular char siu filling is very balanced, as I mentioned. Sometimes it can be overly sweet because restaurants will use leftover roast pork to make their char siu baos, and they try to cover it up a little bit with a little extra sweetness. But a big airplane just flew by. Whoa. I mean, it's landing right over there, over my shoulder, basically. Having leftover char siu and making baos out of them isn't a bad thing. I mean, that's the origin of char siu baos. Making baos out of char siu was a way to get rid of extra leftover roast pork. A lot of restaurants, they will roast the pork. They will have leftover roast pork, from simply having made it for other things, for meals, when customers eat the roast pork with rice and, they order the roast pork strips that's hanging there with the ducks, and, So I think that roast pork ends up being in the baos. Well, I just got my char siu baos from Han Palace here in Tyson's, and this is my first time going there. It seems like a very elegant and maybe even upscale kind of dim sum house here in the DMV. And they have two kinds of char siu bao, roast pork buns. They have the steamed and they have the baked. And I can see already that their baked variety is different than the one I had from the earlier spot, Taste of Hong Kong, the one I went before. So it'll be a nice comparison. But let me start with the steamed char siu bao, and let me pull the little paper off of it. It's nice and small. Oh. I could literally finish this thing in 3 bites, really. It's a dainty looking char siu bao, really. It's like 2 inches in diameter. It's no more than that. Interestingly, I would say that the firmness of the bao slightly exceeds the fluffiness of it. So in the steamed variety, again, you want it to be fluffy and you want it to be firm. You don't want to be, you know, pillowy and excessively fluffy, but I think it's a little bit more firm than it is fluffy. I would say that the filling, the flavor of it is less pronounced. It doesn't have as strong a presence in the overall entity of what this is. I mean, it seems like the bun itself, the bao, is more prominent than the filling. But in terms of appearance, it has the classic appearance of what you look for in a steamed char siu bao. I mean, it has the broken top, the top having burst open during the steaming process. That's what you want. You don't want it to be completely smooth and sealed. You want a little bit of the interior peeking out on the top, and these kind of petal protrusions on the top from when the bun opens during the steaming process. Let me just move on to the baked char siu bao. As you can see, it has a cookie crust top that mimics a pineapple bun. I think that is the trend lately. So it's not just completely smooth and uniform in texture and color. That's what it is. It's really a pineapple bun topping, a crumbly cookie crust topping, and it's slightly sweet, and the filling is a little bit more prominent and maybe a tad more generous than in the steamed char siu bao. So you get more of a char siu experience, and that cookie crumbly crust topping is not insignificant. It contributes to the overall experience in a significant way, I would say, and it gives it a little bit of sweetness. This bun itself is exceedingly soft. It's softer than the steamed one, the cookie crumbly crust. The sweetness of it accentuates the pork on the inside. Wow. Okay, I just got the goods from Hong Kong Pearl, the third stop in this char siu bao tour. Let me start with the steamed char siu bao. Just from touching it, I noticed it seems like it's the lightest and fluffiest one of the steamed buns I've had so far. Let's see what it tastes like. It's the lightest and airiest, the fluffiest one of the steamed char siu baos I've had on this episode. Wow, it's really flaky and light, and the firmness of it is a lot less pronounced. Oh, and the roast pork, the char siu, has almost a shredded quality to it. Wow, it's not just cut up into like geometric pieces. Let me try another one. Yeah. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but it has a kind of shredded quality about it. It's not just chunks. So the mouthfeel is very different. In terms of the taste of the filling, it's not very pronounced. It's even less so than the previous spot, Han Palace. Yeah, it's the lightest in terms of the filling too. It's not as pronounced. Okay, I'm gonna dive into the baked char siu bao next. This is nice and toasty looking. Look how dark the exterior is. Oh, the top of this baked char siu bao is very sticky, and it's sticking to the roof of my mouth like peanut butter. They have some sort of glaze on the surface, like a sweet glaze of some sort. Wow. It's really sticky, and it's sticking to my teeth and to the roof of my mouth. It's nice and soft, but again, the filling is very shredded. The texture of the actual bao is kind of more dominant than the filling is. Whoa. Okay, I have some bonus coverage. At Hong Kong Pearl, they have something called char siu so. I think the English is roast pork pastry. So instead of having a fluffy bun, a baked bun, a steamed bun, you have a kind of a pastry shell. It's kind of roughly triangular in shape. I haven't had one of these in a while, but let me try this. Oh man. It's really flaky, and there's a really generous helping of roast pork filling on the inside. And what's really noticeable about this is not just the flakiness, and it's a buttery kind of flakiness too, but it's also the interplay of the flakiness and the toasty sesame seeds on the outside, because there's a burst of like toasty sesame seed flavor with the kind of gently sweet pork filling. And then you have, again, the flaky crust. Oh, wow. And the filling really shines because it's not buffered by the bao itself. So it really has a more prominent role to play. You don't really see this as often at the dim sum places. And I do remember eating this or having this available when I was younger, growing up. But typically we wouldn't get these because we would just get the steamed or the baked char siu baos. But yeah, this is really nice. But I was debating whether or not I should declare winners or not on this episode. But let me just wrap up by giving you some of my conclusions. What I experienced on this char siu bao episode. I think the best steamed char siu bao was probably from Taste of Hong Kong. Again, it had the really nice balance of fluffiness and firmness, and the char siu filling was nice and tasty. You know, good balance of sweetness and savoriness. So that was perhaps that was the best steamed version. The baked version, I think the best baked char siu bao was from Han Palace. I mean, with that, pineapple bun crust, cookie crust top, that really put it over the top. That was really tasty. That was a really tasty baked char siu bao. So thank you for watching this episode. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. I'll catch you next time on my next food adventure. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.